resume. Should I still apply? Very long-awaited, maybe not really, NYU Q&A. Yay. Hi, my name is Mia. I am a freshman undergraduate student at NYU, and I'm in Tisch for film and television production. For those of you who've seen some of my other videos, because I do a lot of NYU vlogs, then you probably know that already. In the last video, I said that I was gonna do a Q&A, so you guys have been sending me lots of questions about NYU and living in New York City, so I have them right here and I'm gonna answer them. We're just gonna sit down and talk, and I'll do my best to hopefully give you a good answer. This is the first question. Sarah says, I would love to know how you feel about the size of NYU. Do you feel like you're able to form good relationships with the professors? I just toured Drew University, and one of their biggest things was that each student has unlimited resources to internships because the professor-to-student relationship is so strong, as it is a smaller school. I want to apply to NYU, but as it is extremely expensive, true, if I get in, I really want to make sure it is worth it in order to set up a career after college. I want to go to college for photography or photojournalism. My experience at NYU, I think, is different from a lot of other people, or a lot of you who want to go into more core fields. I don't know if that makes sense, not art and not Tisch. I know a lot of my friends have lectures for really basic classes like math and algebra and calculus and all of those, and those lecture sizes can get up to 700 people, which is kind of crazy. So I think in that sense it's not the best to form a relationship. But with film, most of my film classes have 12 to 14 people in them, so they're super small. Because I'm in film and that's my major, it's great for me because those classes are my small classes, because I can build those relationships with my teacher. I think it's just up to you to really go out of your way and talk to your teachers after class, or even participate in class, so they get to know you, and you can always email them. But I definitely think it's possible. I know some students have gotten internships in film, at least from their professors. I remember my professor from last semester saying that one student got an internship from a professor, and she was editing for the Olympics, and because the professor had the connection. So I think it's just really up to you and the classes that you're taking. It doesn't feel too big to me, but again, that's because my Tisch classes are generally a lot smaller than what I've heard from other people, so I can't speak for other majors. And you said you wanted to do photography or photojournalism, so I do have some friends in photography in Tisch, and their classes are also really small too, and even the whole major of photography is really small, so all of them are super tight-knit. So I think in if you were to do photography, or even if photojournalism is similar, then I think you could definitely get really close with your professors. So this is a question that I get a lot actually, which is more film related. So here's two of them that are pretty much asking the same thing. The first one says, not NYU related, but I'm really interested in film and starting. So my question is, what are your favorite film books that you read / got recommended or in your list to read? The other one is just kind of getting into filmmaking without experience, so I'll go to that next. The film books that I've read this year so far, I'm trying to read a lot more this year. So already I've read Making Movies by Sidney Lumet, and then Burton on Burton, which it just goes through the different each chapter is about a different film that Tim Burton's made, and kind of honing in on the process and some of the experiences of each film, and kind of fun facts about the making of each film. Tim Burton's my favorite director too, so that's why I read that one and I really enjoyed it. I think Making Movies by Sidney Lumet is a really good read, especially if you're starting, because each chapter goes through a different part of the process of making a whole feature film. So I think that's a really great one if you're kind of getting started, just to get an overview. He wrote it really great. He's really personal with it. I mean, it starts with the writers and the screenwriting, and he talks about his relationship with each department as a director. He's such an experienced filmmaker and well accredited, so I think a lot of what he says is really interesting and helpful. He goes from everything from talking about what it's to work with actors and how some actors are different than others, and then all the way to the editing room and how the films change editing when you're working with the big studios and what they want and what you want in that battle. So I think that's a really great one that I always recommend. And then I have a bunch of film books that I still need to read, but they're back home in California because I don't have enough free time to read while I'm in school here, and I also didn't want to lug them across the country. I'll put up on the screen if you want to screenshot. These are all of the film books I have at home that I learned about from professors or from reading up online, and that I'm going to read this summer, so if you need some suggestions. But if there's anything that you're specifically interested with film, a specific part of the process, if you really want to be a cinematographer or if there's like, if you have a favorite filmmaker, then I would just look up like best film books about cinematography or anything like that. There's so much to read, and I think reading film books, if you're interested, is like a really great way to learn more. The next question that's kind of similar says that I'm a junior in high school and super interested in studying film at NYU, but I only recently got into filmmaking and I'm worried that because of my lack of skills/experience, I won't be able to get into Tisch, especially since they require a creative resume. And I'm worried that because of my lack of skills/experience, I won't be able to get into Tisch, especially since they require a creative resume. Should I still apply? This is one that I get asked so much, like especially even in DMs. What I always say about this is like, of course, because it's such a well-known film school and it is very competitive, you are going to be competing against people who do have a lot of film experience and who were given the opportunities when they were younger to go to like summer camps or who had the money to buy this equipment. But I think it's important to remember that the professors that are looking at all of these resumes know that everyone didn't have the same experiences and opportunities growing up. So I really don't think that should stop you from applying. What's most important that they want to see from you is that like you're trying, and I think the biggest thing is they're looking for the types of stories that you tell, because at the end of the day, filmmaking is storytelling. So if you have like, if you understand story and you have really great stories to tell, then I think you'd be good. The thing is like, if you freak yourself out and think that you're not gonna get in, then you're not gonna apply, and you're like, then you're not even giving yourself the chance to be rejected. Not that you will, but it's like, you don't even have the chance to get in if you don't apply. So I definitely don't think that should stop you. The creative resume, if you don't have a lot of like film stuff to put on it, then put like whatever art stuff that you can, and then otherwise you can still treat it kind of like a normal resume. I think even putting like your jobs, like, or where you've been devoting your time, if there was like an art club or like arts related, I'd put that in there. This was a two-part question. My parents are worried about crime in New York. Would you say that NYU is safe overall, or is it a big concern? I feel very safe in New York. The thing is we're really privileged. We literally live in Greenwich Village, and we're in a beautiful dorm. I have a view of Washington Square Park. Like, that's never gonna happen again. I think the area is really safe. I feel safe here. It's hard to say, like, to put a label on it. NYU has these little like boxes set up kind of around the campus, like emergency boxes that you could press. They also have this Safe Ride thing. It only runs like from midnight to 7 a.m. but you can get like a free, it's like an Uber ride, but it's NYU, from any of the NYU buildings to another NYU building. Have someone walking with you, like with friends at night. Honestly, I feel pretty safe here. There is still crime, and you do get emails from NYU security when there's been like people getting mugged in the park, or I don't know, just like really weird stuff. So it's hard to say. I think it's up to you and how comfortable you feel. Honestly, like walking around New York alone, I feel safer than if I was walking around in the suburbs alone, because I've lived in the suburbs in Texas before, and just because there's nobody out, then I don't feel safe there. But like New York is so busy all the time, there's people everywhere, so I think that makes it more safe, because you're not really alone unless it's like really late at night. Oh, this person's from Brazil, and it says, I'm currently majoring biotechnology, but considering transferring to Tisch Film and TV or Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music. My question is, have you ever met any transfer students at Tisch? I have. There are a lot of transfer students actually. I don't know what the transfer process is like. I do know some sophomores who just transferred into Tisch. The only thing that you do have to do, for the sophomores who transferred to Tisch this year, or like just to NYU in general, there's this Tisch writing the essay class that all freshmen have to take both semesters. So if you transferred into Tisch as a sophomore, you, at least from the people I've met, would have to take like those writing the essay classes with the freshmen. And I don't know how that would apply to your art classes, if you have to like start from the introductory bottom level, maybe. I don't know, but I have met transfer students. Eliza says, what's your letterbox? This is my letterbox, but I've been a really bad like film student recently. I haven't had time to watch movies, or I just don't like put my time aside to watch movies, which is something I'm gonna do this summer, because I'm burning out right now. I'm literally burning out. I have my animation final that we just started, and it's killing me. I'm like at Tisch editing like 5 hours straight every single day. It's a struggle. We're just making it through May. I'm going to New York City in the summer, and I was wondering if you had any cool suggestions. I don't know, there's so much to do here. I guess it depends on what you like to do. Like walking wise, you can go to Washington Square Park or Union Square, or oh my gosh, I love Bryant Park. I mean, obviously Central Park. I've heard that like the Brooklyn Park by the Brooklyn Bridge is really fun. I haven't been there though, but during the summer I heard that's good. My favorite ice cream place is Chinatown Ice Cream Factory. That's in Chinatown. I always get like the taro ice cream from there. It's so good. I love Midtown. Like food in Midtown is really great. There's this really good Japanese curry place that I always go to with my friends, and it's called Obiko. They have really good curry. The Udon Lab is good. Veneers is really good. It's a famous Italian bakery, so they have like good if you want to get cannolis or lobster tails. I know this is like because of the like Timothy Chalamet thing, but I love Tompkins bagels. They're so good. I always go to the one on 2nd Ave, and if you want to get a good bagel, I love Tompkins bagels. St. Mark's Place has good shops. Could you explain how your high school gap year worked and applying to NYU? If you do a gap year, NYU has like a website on the frequently asked questions if you want to defer, but if you want to just like reapply, then you would just reapply like normally how you would have applied the first time. I think Common App has sections like, oh, like to put I took a gap year, or I don't know. Like I think it's pretty straightforward in that sense, but if you want to defer, I think there's like it's different within each school if you got accepted into NYU already. The reason I took a gap year was because I graduated class of 2020, and then by the time like college was coming around in the fall, COVID was so bad still. A lot of the schools and a lot of my like friends' colleges too closed dorming and went fully virtual. College is so expensive, especially like in New York, and doing film, which is something that's so hands-on, and like you're paying for the equipment too and the space and the labs. It's just like didn't make sense for me. I don't know, I didn't want to start my freshman year that way. I wanted to be in person and I wanted to live in the dorm, and so I ended up like taking a gap year, and that is not something that I ever thought I would do. I think it was for the best just because things are starting to calm down a little bit, and I got to move in and I got that experience that I wanted. I ended up just staying at home, and I worked full-time at Trader Joe's, which was insane, but I saved up all of that money for school this year, which has been really nice because now I've had like some spending money. I am working at Trader Joe's again. I started like a month ago just because New York is so expensive, but I will be honest with like my film homework and my animation project that I'm working on, it's really stressing me out, and so I don't think I can work like this again next year during the school year, so maybe during the summer. That's what I did during my gap year. I was wondering like how you started and when you started film, and if you have some advice for me to start getting into it. I actually started making films when I was like 10. I remember I wanted to do this little like Christmas toy drive for my school. I was probably in like 3rd or 4th grade, and I went to my counselor and she told me to make a presentation about it. I don't even think it ever got passed, but I had like all my American Girl dolls in it. I was really into watching the American Girl stop motion videos on YouTube. So I had my little point and shoot camera, and I made like a Christmas stop motion on my bed, and I used it for this presentation for her. And then after that I just started like making those videos more. I went to those Apple summer camps in the malls when I was little with my brother, and like my parents would take us to those during the day, and they like teach you how to use iMovie and make movies and trailers with that too. So I started by doing a lot of like stop motion stuff. I don't know, I just kept making stuff after that. I think just like to get into it, you just have to start making it, and you don't even have to have a nice camera. Like you could just use your phone or anything you have access to, but just make what makes you happy. Like come up with a fun story and make something with your friends, and just keep making videos, and then see where it leads you and see what you're drawn to and what you're drawn to making. I was wondering if you have any advice on what dorms I should and should not pick, and if you know about any ways to make sure I get my top choice. For freshman year, I think the top one for everyone is actually Lipton, which is the one I'm in, and it's so nice. Honestly, I'm like, this was my top choice, so I can't believe I got it. So happy. But basically Lipton is right on Washington Square Park, and I got one of the good views so I can see like the arch and everything. We have hardwood floors, and it looks pretty furnished. It's one of the newest dorms. We also have a dining hall, and the dining hall at Lipton is supposed to be like the healthier dining hall. They have a lot of dietary options, which is really great. And there's another one of those like tiny NYU supermarkets right by the dining hall too. My second top choice would have been Brittany, and so Brittany's a little bit further, It's closer to like Union Square and Broadway. That one is known as the Tisch dorm. The Brittany dorms are really nice actually. I've been in some of my friends and they're really big. They've got really high ceilings. Maybe that's what makes them feel big. Good. Lipton also, at least ours, don't come with like a fridge or kitchen. Brittany doesn't have a kitchen, but I think their dorms come with a fridge. Brittany doesn't have a dining hall. A lot of people like U-Haul, that's right in Union Square. Those have kitchens. U-Haul is right next to the Dunkin' Donuts, the NYU Dunkin' Donuts. Founders is kind of a random one. The rooms are really big, but Founders is like kind of further away from Washington Square Park too. They don't have a dining hall. That one's just like quiet, I think, but the dorms are really big. Third North, it's known as the party dorm, and that one is right on 3rd Ave, so it's like far from the park too, but I mean there's still a lot of stuff by all of these. So when I say it's far from the park, it's still by a lot of other stuff because there's stuff everywhere. My friends who live in 3rd North like it. They have kitchens. It's like pretty communal. So 3rd North has a dining hall and a little patio outdoor space with like tables and stuff. I still have never eaten at the 3rd North dining hall. I've heard some like pretty bad things about it, but then one of my friends the other day texted me and said that we should go to 3rd North because she had it for the first time, so maybe I'll try it soon. Okay, there's also Goddard, but I never hear anything about that. It's like right above the Starbucks. And then there's Weinstein, which is above one of the dining halls, and Weinstein is also above like one of the markets and the Grubhub dining hall. I've heard like Weinstein dorms aren't super nice, but it's in a really good location because the dining hall, like there's a lot of food options there, and I like that has like the biggest NYU market, so that's a good like NYU marketplace. And then Reuben, everyone in Reuben is super close knit. Like they have a great community in Reuben, but Reuben does not have air conditioning, so if you get Reuben in the summer when you're moving in, it's supposed to be miserable. Like it's supposed to be so hot. Besides the AC thing, people seem to like Reuben because the people who live in Reuben are usually fun, and there's also classrooms at the first floor of Reuben. But yeah, I think that's all. My top two were Lipton and Brittany, and I heard that one of the best ways to get the dorm that you want is to apply for the themed community floors because less people apply to those since you have to write like a small essay for it. But that's what I did. I applied for literally, what is the floor? I think it's like the TV floor in Lipton, which I just recently found out that I got, and I didn't even like know that I got in. That's one way I've heard is a good way to like make sure you get where you want to get. Okay, so this one was also about the film books. And then where did you get that gold necklace that you always wear because it's gorgeous? Thank you. Okay, well I have like all three of the gold necklaces. I always wear these three together, so maybe it's one of these. Let me just like, okay, so this one is from Urban Outfitters. This one from Hawaii. It's Hawaiian gold. My grandpa got this for me for Christmas because I've been wanting one forever. My mom has one from when she was younger from Hawaii, and so I love hers. My mom says her name in Hawaiian, but my name in Hawaiian is the same, so my grandpa got me this one and it just means sweetheart. This one is also one of my mom's old ones. My grandpa got this one for her and her sister when like they were teenagers when he came back from a trip. So this one's Arabic gold. But yeah, these are my three necklaces that I wear all the time. Thank you. Okay, let's start with the first one. Do you have any suggestions about finding funding? NYU has work study, which if you qualify, you can work at NYU and that money can go towards paying for tuition. I'd say as soon as you get in, or even during like senior year, there are so many like scholarships, random ones online that like someone will be like $1,000 or $2,000 or $10,000. So if you just apply to a lot of those, like every little bit helps, and I think that's like a great way to help pay for school because NYU is so expensive. Oh my god. Do you stay in dorms for all 4 years or get student houses? Because NYU is so big, you can actually stay in dorms through senior year if you really want to. It just depends on you. How long do you get for summer and winter break? Literally only like the weekend for Thanksgiving, which is kind of that kind of sucks. But then for winter break, we get a month-long break. I didn't come back from winter break till like January 21st, but then classes didn't end till like December 21st. You get about a month. And then for summer break, classes end May 9th. Some people's finals might go a little bit over, and then school doesn't start until like the first couple days of September. So it's a really long summer break. And then spring break, you get a week. What's the social life like? Are there lots of parties, students, events, etc.? In the UK, there's a massive drinking culture at university. How does it differ in the US? How it differs is drinking is only legal at 21 here, and in the UK, it's legal at 18. So that's probably the biggest difference. There are a lot of like parties at NYU. I'd say there's a lot of frat parties, but a lot of people go like clubbing into bars. Some people will have like little apartment kickbacks with their friends. I don't know, it just depends on who you're friends with, what you like to do, like what your going out scene is. So I think there's something for everyone. And there are a lot of student events on your first week as a freshman, like it's called Welcome Week, and they have events like all day, every day. I did a Bob Ross painting night, which was really fun, and they do like little food tours and they'll get you food, or I don't know. There's lots of events. Also, each dorm has their own events. So like Lipton will have weekly events that the RAs put out that you can sign up for, and then I've done ones where they took me and some people who signed up and we went and got to see like the French Dispatch at the Angelica for free, or they like I've gone to the MoMA and they get us free pastries from Magnolia Bakery. But they're doing stuff every single week, so there's so many events, which is great to take advantage of because they're free. And then another thing that I thought was just like important to talk about, which is how do you make friends when you get here or before getting here. I don't know if a lot of you know, but basically what I did before I came here was I joined this like class of 2025 welcome pages for whatever school you get into. Usually someone on Instagram has already made a welcome page Instagram for your school, which is usually student run, and basically they'll ask you to either like send in proof that you got in, or just send in like a photo or a couple photos of yourself and a description about yourself, and then they post it, and basically people just start following each other and like messaging each other so that you can have friends before you get to school. But I also have another thing. If you're an incoming college freshman or a high school senior, then I have the perfect app for you, and it's free. Basically, there's this app Patio. If you download the app Patio, then it helps you connect with other admits to your school in like a private community. And I really wish I would have known about this before I came to school, because this is really cool and I'm like wouldn't have been running around on Instagram. But basically you can browse everyone's profiles, plus you can see their socials and you can follow them straight through Patio. You can send private DMs and create group chats for like studying, dorm friends, Greek life, social events. Super cool. And it's great because you can choose the school that you got admitted to and find people who are in the same exact boat as you. So if you want to check out Patio, I'll have it linked down below in my bio. Okay, so that is all the questions that I'm going to answer for this video. If you have any more, like just keep commenting. I'm a little slower at getting back to DMs, so if you want to comment, then I'll probably be able to respond to that a little faster. Thanks for watching. Congratulations to those of you who just got accepted, or to wherever you got accepted to, and good luck to those of you who are going to apply soon. And it's so beautiful here today. I'm going to go outside and then I'm going to go back to Tish and keep editing my animated film. Also, let me know what other NYU videos you want to see, because I feel like I do a lot of like day in the life vlogs. I'm about to do another week in the life for next weekend. I'm gonna film my week coming up. Thanks. Goodbye.